it was quite the blowout. Spain with a 6-2 victory over Belgium. Perhaps another bit of a statement win, or maybe it means something else. We'll get into it. Spain now with 11 goals in just 2 matches, gone ahead and just matched Germany's best ever full group stage tally across 2 games. I made a comment because sometimes we get some chats going before we actually hop on to the show, and I was like, this is video game shit. Like, what is going on here with Spain? They didn't leave any room here for error or doubt in terms of what we were talking about way before the Euro started, as far as favorites or them being co-favorites alongside England in this tournament. We got a lovely little graphic up here. Spain topping the goal scorers. Esther Gonzalez leading with 3, Alexia Putellas with 3. And then you've got several other players across the board with a goal apiece, 11. Rack them up and count them up, 11. Darren, I want to go to you first for this. Was there a moment in this game where any sort of doubt crept in for you? Like, is Spain showing any weakness whatsoever in these early group games?
Spain has weaknesses. The thing is, they're always going to score. How do you limit them scoring and also take those opportunities to counter? And Belgium actually had moments where they looked really good. I think on set pieces, Spain looks vulnerable. Transition, Spain looks vulnerable. You could drive a truck through the back line at times. But it's Spain on the ball, to me, that's what makes them one of the top teams in the world. It's almost like watching poetry in motion, and I think it stems from Alexia Putellas. If you watch the first goal, just look at how tight they keep the field. And that's how they got regained so quickly. They're short passes, they're compact, they're bouncing the ball quickly, it's foot specific, the texture's perfect, everything about it. But as soon as somebody makes a mistake, there's 4 or 5 players clobbering a Belgian player to get the ball back. And it just ended up being suffocating. But Spain, they're not invincible. As good as they are, as much as we love to watch them, they are not invincible. And Jen, I know our resident center back, you got to tell us your thoughts on Spain and how maybe teams can key in, especially on that match, and know how they can hurt them moving forward.
I think it's really interesting, especially in this Belgium game today. Because look, let's face it, the opening game versus Portugal was so straightforward, right? They weren't, didn't have any major decisions to make as a backline, but today was different. And I think if you watch Belgium, especially on attack, those early balls in behind, they're the ones that get Spain. When you win the ball back in that mid block of the field and you've got another half to go in attack, okay, their goal got called offside, but what a goal. And if I was in France national team and in England, you got Lauren Hemp on your side, you have Clara Bull for Germany ready to attack those spaces and might be a little bit more game intelligent to hold their run and to not be offside. I'm thinking I would take confidence from that personally, knowing that Spain do have their weaknesses. And on the flip side, those teams will defend better. Again, no disrespect to Belgium or Portugal leading in, but I'm watching Alexia Putellas. And look, of course, she's 2-time Ballon d'Or winner. She will always be doing the smart movement and running off your shoulder. But still, teams I think, are giving a little bit too much respect in the box. You're watching the ball drop to Caldente and she's got time to take a touch, get her head up and slot it in the goal. And those are the moments where, do I think Germany will make those same mistakes? Look, maybe, but do they have better quality? Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at Baltimore from Chelsea. She will attack those spaces all day. She has been phenomenal off the back of an incredible season for Chelsea. Was a huge threat against England in the group stages already. So I'm thinking if you're a higher seed team right now and you've watched Spain, of course, they will always be a threat with what they pose. They're on the ball quality, their back foot receiving, their movement off the ball. When you're watching Spain, don't watch the ball. Watch the movement elsewhere. The ball goes backwards, you got someone attacking the space in behind. It is unreal to watch. But take confidence. I think their backline can be vulnerable, and they've shown that, whether it's a set piece. I know there was some height in the box for Belgium today, and that's what got it over the line, but I can't emphasize enough. If I'm in a higher ranked team right now, I'm taking confidence knowing that you can give them the ball in certain areas of the pitch, sit in a mid block, and go and attack the space when you win the ball back.
Even looking at Claudia Pina's goal, sorry, Sandra, even looking at Claudia Pina's goal, I mean, brilliant finish. Who has that much time at the top of the 18?
Exactly.
Who is going to give you that much time? I think, Jen, you said it right. Belgium's defense just, well, one, they were chasing the entire game. Of course, you're gassed, especially late, but I don't think another team is going to give Spain as much respect as we saw against Belgium. And even thinking Champions League, I mean, this is basically Barcelona from the Champions League final with some give and take of quite a few players that are now in the starting lineup, but they're vulnerable. You should have confidence by that. Go be physical. Be physical, and they don't know how to handle it.
I'm so glad you brought up that game specifically, because then you have Blackstenius for Sweden. Another prime example came into that game, and it's similar styles. You're playing against a team that want to dominate the ball, and they're going to leave half of the field to go and play it in. And Blackstenius, for me, was the perfect substitute in that Champions League final, and will be playing for Sweden just off the back of summer of her life, winning the Champions League. Will have confidence knowing she can go do that up against Spanish defenders.
My thing is, you're only going to play the teams that are in front of you. And for Spain, this is the group that they got drawn into. I think there's maybe that argument there that they're going to go to the knockouts. They've officially clinched their place moving forward. But what does the Spain team look like if maybe they find themselves as the top dogs in like a group A? What do they have against like some of these other kind of very stingy type of performing teams, whether it was a Finland or even a Switzerland at some stretches, and how would they look in terms of breaking down those challenges? But for them, they're in Group B. They had games against Belgium. They had game against a very emotional, high-stakes game against Portugal, and they will eventually have another showing against Italy. So you can only play the teams in front of you. So I think maybe there's that additional counter argument that who will be the team that is going to be Spain's kryptonite, if one such team even exists. I think that question presented itself a bit during their World Cup run as well. And we saw Japan, and a lot of folks had that circled and say, hey, maybe this is a team for Spain to watch out for. But they had a response and answer for that as well in the knockout. So is it like a Sweden for UBD? Like who is going to be the team that can maybe take this Belgian game, say there's a little bit of tape here, and capitalize on that moving forward?
I think Germany are always up there for me, because what I love about it is the physicality. I think if you look at Germany, they have this like really nice blend of technical players. Dahlmann, I thought, was brilliant in the midfield. Saisa, incredible as well. And I think when you're playing up against, the one thing, my takeaway from the Portugal game, they weren't physical enough. If you're not as good on the ball, how can you counteract that? Be physical, put in tackles, allow nothing central. And I think for me, the German national team always have that on point. It's never not a physical game when you're playing up against. But now they've added Clarabel, Schuler, different goal scorers across that front line that for me have stood out massively. Clarabel has been phenomenal to watch. Like if that does end up being a matchup, for me, if you can win the midfield battle, if you can not allow Caldente as much time on the ball, Alexia Putellas, figure out the movements. Of course, I'm talking about world-class play, and it's like the golden question is, how do you stop them? But I think the physical aspect of the game come first. And I think we've not seen a team yet win the physical battle against them. So my interesting question would be, can Germany do that? And I think they can. And then they have the quality to go and attack the space, like what I suggested before.
Darian, if it is Germany, Spain also have been navigating some things within the team on their own. They've been without their starting goalkeeper in Cataco. They have tried to get Bonmati minutes. Paredes was in finally for this second match day too. When it comes to knockouts and having such a prolific player in Bonmati, maybe the goal is that by 3 games in the group stage that maybe she would be at some sort of starting capacity. Is that something that could be disruptive to what Spain has been producing on the pitch in the tournament where the stakes only get higher?
I don't think it's disruptive. It's Bonmati. It's Alexia Putellas. They play together week in, week out. That is the biggest perk that this Spanish national team has, is 90% of these players play club together. There's so much chemistry on and off the pitch. The habits are similar. You know exactly how each other plays. I think looking today, and I thought, oh shit, Bon Matisse coming in at halftime. That's your next sub. Like this team is that good. I don't think
Video
in any way. Video games. It's FIFA. What's the ultimate FIFA game where you can have like the special superpowers where suddenly you run like 5 times faster than everybody? That's what she brought into the match. Yeah. I don't think it'd be a hindrance at all. I think Bon Mati is one of those players like a Rose Lavelle where it's like, this is just an asset to whatever team they're going to be on.
They've got a game to go here. They essentially have a game in hand now that they've already clinched their spot in the final 8. Started this segment off with a little bit of a stat check, how they've got those 11 goals through two games. It ties the all-time record for goals by a team in the group stage, been held by Germany. So with a game to play, do they break it? Or do you think with a game in tow, does Thompson just go ahead and maybe rest some players, make some adjustments? Is that what you do in a final game of a match? Do either of you want to see that for Spain, or do you want to see them continue to just build how they've been operating?
I think they just keep building. Yeah, you give your depth a little bit more. Like Vicky Lopez has gotten minutes. I think that's great. Like Claudia Pina is not always a starter. Peruelo usually is. Like, this team is so loaded. It blows my mind. So yeah, maybe you switch around a couple pieces here and there. You give Bon Mati a few more minutes to get her back into match fitness from her illness. But it doesn't take the foot off the gas pedal in any way, in my opinion. I think this is one of the federations that we've seen have done so well with managing their depth on their squad that the level is going to maintain being high.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think they'll stay consistent. Do I think they can afford to make a couple of changes? Absolutely. I think, but then I'm thinking, right, Paredes has always missed through suspension, so she's 1 game less. Bon Mati, she's 1 game less having, the illness. So I think for we talked about disruption earlier, so maybe ironically, this Spanish team maybe needs a more consistency with their starting 11, but they are in a dream situation that they know they can make subs at any point, whether it's so early in the game. So this third group game is probably just an opportunity to get even more people off the bench and use their depth. And Daria's spot on. They have so much depth, and we've seen it. Vicky Lope, you're thinking, oh my goodness, 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, Bon Mati, illness before and then we see this superstar being linked to similarities, Lamine Yamal, and that's the kind of stardom, the kind of quality that she's been showing at such a young age. And that's the quality they have. They have so much depth. So I think they'll look at this third game to get more consistency, but still use the rest of their squad that we might not have necessarily seen yet.
Okay, so if we do see a little bit of continuity going forward into this second game, our producer Mark had a great graphic that he put up on the YouTube showing all the goal scorers. A girl repping NWSL in the Euros, Esther Gonzalez, has got 3 goals to her name, alongside Alexia Putellas with 3 goals as well. They're head to head. They're both chasing this golden boot, apparently, in the tournament. If they both get the start, who's going to get the difference here for either of you? Who do you got?
I'm rocking with Esther. MVP in NWSL, lead goal scorer, and over the Euros. I think she's got it. It's the summer of Esther. You can't write her off.
I love that.
I'm going for Alexia Putellas on this one. I think, again, I'll say it again, when you're watching Spain play, don't watch the ball, watch her movement. It is phenomenal. The top players like that don't get 2 goals and 2 assists for a chance. It was her level of finishing as well. What I love about the Spain national team right now, everyone talks about the style of play. They have scored goals in every way possible, whether it be long balls, short plays, finishing around the box, and that's what the top teams do. They haven't tried to. So for me, they've been so adaptable, and she's been at the forefront of that. Her movement off the ball, her finishing, her composure in the box has been second to none for me so far. So I'm going for it. Is it not like 2 player of the match appearances as well? Unheard of. But she's
like a heartbeat.
I think for someone as well to have torn their ACL, and for the whole narrative, she's looking like she's back to her best. Everyone's saying it, and I think it's so true.
It's feeling good. All things are feeling good. The vibe check is seriously good for Spain.
Wait, Sandra, who do you got?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm going with Esther. I'm rocking with Esther. Let's go. We're just talking about Golden Boot. I'm with you on everything else as far as like player of the tournament. I think that's got Puteas written all over it at this moment. But as far as just pure goal scoring, I think Esther might edge things out moving forward. But either way, Spain no longer viewed as kind of co-favorites in this one. They definitely look like the team that are running away. And the chat also agrees. We took a poll. 79% of those who participated in the poll said that this is Spain's tournament to lose. 21% say no, it's not. You've still got work to do, but we'll see. They got one more game to go, and the knockouts begin.